Good morning, everybody, or afternoon or evening, wherever you are in the world. I'm Kevin Allen, the Chief Community Officer at OpenEXO, and welcome to this Future of Learning for Kids, together with the amazing people from Planet Pilots. Some of these people you can see above my head are going to be on screen soon. And before I get them here on stage, I just want to remind everybody of the upcoming future of events. Wait, this side of me, you can see some amazing events coming up, and you can also see some of the events that have happened in the past. You can see the link at the top of the screen there too. So remember to join us for the events that are coming up, and go watch the events that have happened already. So it's really my pleasure to welcome the folks from Planet Pilots. So I'm going to bring them all up onto stage at the same time. And I think Lars will then introduce everyone. So welcome to everyone. Remember to unmute yourselves. Welcome, Lars.
Thank you, Kevin. And hello, everybody, on whatever channel you may be on. We are so excited to have this chance to answer some actually pretty challenging questions about the future. What is the future going to bring to us? But it was a nice creative challenge to give us, and we are excited to dive in as deep as we can in these 60 minutes that we have. Let's get the team introduced here, and we have a little slide actually we might be able to bring up. That shows us here, because I want first just to mention Crystal Toe on the left-hand side of the screen I'm looking at anyway. Crystal couldn't be here because we are running our weekly global network hangout for Planet Pilots around the world right now. So Crystal is very busy engaged in that. She may join us a little bit later. But then, yes, and then I would like to invite Justina just to say hi and say a few words about you.
Yes, of course. If you can see me moving, I'm not sure if that's the case.
You're frozen.
Yes, I am frozen. I hope I'm frozen in a nice
yes,
position. I'm frozen like the educational system that we are in right now, and we are here to defrost things. If I am not the one who's defrozen, definitely Lars and Diana will be. I'm a psychologist, and I worked for many years in a Montessori environment, and discovered that there still need changes even in the most innovative of alternative systems. That's me saying hi. So yes, here we are. We're the Montessorians. We're the innovators of shapers of the future of learning for kids, and I'm really grateful to be here. Over to you, Diana and Lars.
Over to you, Diana.
Thank you, Justina. And yes, my name is Diana, originally from Bogota, Colombia, and overall very, very excited to see already so many greetings from Power Parents that are watching us, from the pilots themselves that will be joining soon. But overall, just very happy to be able to be on this journey, to be able to play and co-create this with such amazing individuals that happen to be both young and old, and looking forward to seeing how can we empower them. Right? How can we empower ourselves and work together to create a better world? So that's a little intro. That's over to you, Lars.
Thank you so much, Diana. And then I just wanted to say a few words about Crystal. Crystal is a mom, and she has spent many years in the world of finance, and she is living and breathing her MTP around democratizing quality education, and that resonates so strongly with me. As a matter of fact, you're going to find out very quickly, actually right now, that we didn't know each other a couple of years ago. We live on different continents, and we have very little in common, apart from a few human facts, but also the MTP, that the massive transformative purpose that really brought us together, is a healthy planet managed by empowered kids. That is what we connected so strongly about. And my name is Lars, also one of the, we call us the core team. I think, in the lack of a better word, we are really not the planet pilots, right? We are the ones trying to establish maybe the online infrastructure and a few other things, connect those kids, and they will take good care of everything else. That's our strong belief. And but this is, Planet Pilots is so much more than us and the Planet Pilots. We actually operate as an exponential organization. So we are a large network that collaborate on themes and on solving challenges in so many different ways. So we should have so many helmets with beautiful faces on all over the screen right now. But you're going to see and meet some of them live right here in the next 50 minutes. And I cannot tell you how excited I am about you getting to meet these wonderful folks who have joined us on the very same mission. So that was the introduction, Kevin. Those are the folks that, that you invited to come here and talk about the future of learning for children.
Perfect. So thanks so much, Lars. I do believe that that we're going to move into a bit of a section around speaking about the assumptions of in the 20th century and education, from yourself, and then some interesting exercises and things from the team. So back to you.
Thank you, Kevin. Yes, so I'm going to just spend some minutes kind of setting the scene here. So please stay with me, because I will not have any sexy visuals, but in a matter of minutes, we are going to collaborate with every one of you, regardless of what channel you may be on right now watching this. So you can engage in answering some questions that are very important to our mission, and we believe to the future of learning as well. So be prepared, have a browser page ready for when we get to it, and then we're going to have you involved in this conversation. And I know also the chat is on fire already, so we'd love comments and questions in the chat. We can see all of them. I might not have time to read all of them right now, but during the session, we would be happy to try to steer the conversation in the most relevant direction for you guys, right? So let's get this started. And I really want to set the scene here for what we find important to consider when we talk about the future and we talk about learning. The first thing, I was looking up some definitions of these words. It's pretty good to have a common baseline for the conversation. The word future, I think the simplest definition I could find is the time that is to come, right? Nice, sweet, simple. I came across George Burns, an American comedian, who said, I look to the future because that's where I'm going to spend the rest of my life. And when you think of it, I think that's very relevant for all of us. So it's super interesting to talk about the future and what that's going to be like, because that's the rest of our life. I do want to add, however, that I think we have a choice. You have a choice. I have a choice. Our kids hopefully have a choice to either sit around, just wait for the future to start happening. It may bring good stuff. It may bring some bad challenges. For sure, it's going to be unpredictable. What we have decided to do is kind of take this on and decide for ourselves how we want each of us to live a meaningful, purpose-driven life as much as we possibly can. And to get started on that, we were looking at a number of assumptions that essentially we think we're just taking for granted, and that may have been true many years ago, but certainly is no longer true. So we'll get to that in a moment. But I also just want to touch on the word learning and the definition I found, and there are many okay definitions out there. One is the process of getting an understanding of something by studying it or by experience. I think that's a fair definition. And Winston Churchill, and I have to quote him in pretty much every single presentation, he said, "I'm always ready to learn, although I do not always like being taught." And that is something I always felt as well. So that resonated with me. I don't know about you. There's a difference between our intrinsic motivation for learning and somebody pushing knowledge to you, isn't there? And another quick quote here, but this is probably the most memorable ever, I think, in history, is Mahatma Gandhi, who said, "Live as if you were to die tomorrow, but learn as if you were to live forever." And I find that to be extremely powerful. So we know that learning is really considered of great importance, not only today, but also back in history, right? But I think we also all realize from time to time that we have been taught a lot of knowledge over time. And some we learned because we wanted to, but we really no longer find that learning, that knowledge, to be useful or relevant, right? So it's time to learn again. I think that's an important thing to recognize. And another quick thing I just realized the other day, somebody reminded me, because I'm sure you love learning. You're actually here because you love learning, I think, right? That's my hypothesis. I love learning. I have heard myself say that pretty much since I left school and started to do something I really cared about. Since then, I've loved learning, right? I hear many of you who are with us right now, thank you for being here, that you love learning too. But I realized a few days ago, somebody reminded me, it was actually Mark that we are going to meet a little bit later, that you only love learning when it's something you're interested in learning. If you have no interest whatsoever in what you're about to learn, you actually find it to be really hard. So don't believe in the assumption that everybody loves learning. Only when it's something we really care about and we're interested in, then we love learning. So I happen to be so privileged, so I can spend a lot of my time learning things that I'm excited about and things that I may be able to apply in my work and my life because I want to. But it wasn't always that way. And I'm sure it's the same for children who are growing up today. And that's what we really care about, the life of the children of the planet. A few other assumptions that we find really fascinating, and also that we find to be incorrect and actually very wrong, is the one, for example, you must go to school to learn. That is, we don't believe that's the case. Quite the contrary, maybe even in some cases. Look at a baby that learns his mother's language right from the beginning. Right? It's not attending a class, is it? And the mother is actually not teaching language skills. The baby learns. And a little bit later in the evolution, not that long later, it's starting to try to walk, right? The child learns to walk, not because somebody teaches us how to walk. It may be observing older siblings, who knows, that are trying to learn to walk, and then it starts trying on its own in its own effort, and eventually, I'm sure most, or hopefully everybody who can, will start to walk. So I just think this is an important part of our understanding of learning. So when we make decisions, sometimes on behalf of our children, we have the option to really think carefully about the informed decisions we're making. and not maybe not pushing knowledge, but inspire for intrinsic motivation. There's a long list of assumptions that are not, in our opinion, correct. Maybe it was once. There's the one about a particular curriculum that, and you have to spend 10, 12 years to go through it, to learn it, and pass a certain test, the certain results to really qualify for your next step in life. We don't think it has to be that way. It could also be if that doesn't play out very well. It's always typically the child that is the problem, right? It's never the learning environment for interesting reasons, although we should give it some real serious thoughts when looking at the future of learning. What is the learning environment that our children are finding themselves in? And can we do that better, differently, or even better empower our children to decide their own learning environment and form and shape that? All right, so now we would like to invite you to help us answer the first question. And Justina, maybe with the help of Kevin, is going to bring up a question for you. And we'd like you to open up your browser and go to kahoot.it and enter this code, which you see on the screen right now. And I'm handing over now to Justina to help us out. Yes, we can, and see you.
Yeah, at least my voice is not frozen. Yes, so guys, learning is an extremely important and serious topic, but it's also super fun. And when we make it super fun, we really tap to our intrinsic motivation to simply enjoy ourselves and enjoy life. So let's address the topic in a fun, playful way, like we do at our Hangouts, and go to Kahoot. 708-1399 is the code. Pick a fun name, pick a serious name, whatever is you're choosing, and let's start the game. Kahoot.it 708-1399, and we're waiting for you guys. Awesome. I can see we have Kevin. Is it you, Kev? We have Mim, we have Amazonian, Prajna, Evelyn, Kat, iRandom. I wonder who that is. Minster. Wow, amazing. A lot of people who happen to be young or people who happen to be grown-ups. Are we guys ready? Can you let us know in the chat if there's still some of you who are joining? Yoo-hoo, Ardash, Jill, Co-Pilot J. I guess I know who that is. All right. In the interest of time, I'm going to start the game, and the question is going to be very, very serious. I click start. I did click start. Is my Kahoot frozen as my screen? No. 3, 2, 1, go. Word cloud. Childhood lasts roughly 100,075,000 hours. How soon will your child start exploring their life passions? If you're a child, your childhood lasts 175,000 hours. How soon will you start exploring your life passions? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Yay. Lars, would you like to comment on those results?
I love the answers here. I'm glad we don't need to wait 20 years or 12 before we can really start to explore our life passion. So thank you guys, you're getting it. And so we're glad we are not the only ones on this planet that feels this way. Keep thinking about this question, by the way, right? Especially if you're a parent or planning to become one. Think about this carefully for the future of your own child. Thank you very much, Justina, for helping us here with the first question. And there will be another one coming up very shortly. So maybe we'll have even more to join us in answering the next question. And please really speak from your heart and from what you really believe here. We are really about collaboration across borders and cultures. And what you just saw is a very simple exercise, which I'm sure most of you, if not all, we have tried something similar in the past year. COVID lockdowns, that kind of pushed us into this online collaboration, didn't it? Which just happens to also have the beautiful benefit of connecting you to other people around the planet. You don't need to be in the same room like a classroom or a meeting room to get things done. We still believe, some of us, that, oh, it's harder online. It's not, I can tell you. Not for children anyway, right? And especially with simple, easy to get gamified tools like you just saw here. All you need to do is get started, guys. And that's essentially, that was our own starting point a little over a year ago, when we wanted to simply connect children online that were stuck at home with their parents. The parents were as stuck at home as the children. And I don't know who found that more challenging, but it turned out that the children loved getting connected, whether for social reasons or for collaborative learning. So you could actually say, which has turned out to be the truth here, that this way of working is a way to become a collective intelligence in a community, isn't it? And that is the way we find extremely powerful to solve grand challenges on our planet. And let the children do it, right? For all sorts of reasons. And we will come back to some of them. So I just wanted to just touch a little bit on the unknown future. I need to keep it short because we have all the exciting things is yet to come in this session. Really. So, but the future's unknown, right? It's uncertain, and this is super challenging. Nobody can really predict what's going to happen. So how do we prepare ourselves, our children, for an unknown future, right? That is the question. And there are many different answers to this. The answer depends on our own beliefs, in many cases, our own experience. And we have collectively been generating our experiences on this, which have reinforced our beliefs on how to prepare for an unknown future. And that's what I'll just touch about quickly right now. So what we do know about the uncertain future here is the technological and societal changes are really happening at an accelerating rate. It's dramatic what's happening in all walks of life in any game. So, but at the same time, we also see, and some will find this disturbing, and some will be happy to hear this statement, I think, that our children are changing, right? They are adapting, they are changing, just like all previous generations have been. And our kids are changing very fast, I can tell you. And you may have noticed, but if not, spend the weekend figuring out how your child is changing and how fast and how, right? There's a new generation in town here, guys, that are growing up with different beliefs than previous generations and with growing capabilities. So, and that is where we keep our hope, right? That's our hope for the future, because they are in a much better position to solve some of the challenges that we adults, are mostly concerned about, but we don't know really how to solve these for our planet. We still only have one planet to live on. So, so we are investing everything we've got and ourselves into working with children and empowering, right, for this future. And they actually work as a collective intelligence easily and in a seamless way with extended minds network together. And then consider the fact that now they can be augmented and supported and enhanced by these advanced technologies as much as they would like, as much as they can imagine, and even quite a lot more above and beyond that, even when they don't know it. That is happening. So a few examples: cameras in classrooms with an AI that is observing whether students are falling asleep or if they're paying attention. That's one way of applying the supporting technology. It's not very supporting. Maybe for the teacher, I don't know who it's helping, but another use case would be you use the same technologies to support the individual child on identifying what are they trying to learn and who would be the perfect learning buddy who may not be living in your school district, right? So same technologies, different use cases. This is part of the future of learning, no question about it, no question about it. So our kids are having the power to improve the world, both personally and locally and globally, if that's what they desire. And the good news is that is what they desire. We can see that every single day. So that's awesome. You're going to meet a pilot very, very soon. So I wanna move forward so we can get to it. I just wanted to point out another data point that I heard a few days ago from World Economic Forum, and I know it by heart already, but I heard it again. The fact that 8 out of 10 in our youngest generation, they will have to create their own jobs in the future. They will have to create their own jobs. If actually jobs are going to be relevant to consider in the future, right? Who knows? We're seeing a gig economy that is growing extremely fast and changing the game rules and how you are employed, if you are employed, and how you work, how you live, right? If you're a programmer, then you know that your GitHub rating determines how likely you are to get invited to new projects. And that is calculated based on review scores from peers and sponsors and your accomplishments. And that's it. That's it. No diplomas, no certificates are going to be needed there. So consider how also we are going to be engaged and employed and involved in activities in life in the future, right? Okay, so we see that we are on the way to become symbiotic, empowered people. And you're going to hear that again before we close this session. Symbiotic, empowered people. That is something many feel uncomfortable to hear, but that's what's happening. At least the symbiotic part is happening, whether we like it or not. The empowered part is hard, guys. It's very hard to empower each other. That is, we tend to like to control each other and tell each other what to do rather than empower each other, right? The open exit community is a wonderful example where you do empower each other. But in many other networks, you see kind of the opposite. You see control mechanisms. So consider this as well for the future of learning and for the environment that you place yourself in. Which network is going to be supportive and empowering for your personal development and that of your child? So, wow, boy, there's a lot of factors here that are deciding our path in life and how we end up living our lives, right? many, for example, become a doctor because everybody else is a doctor in the family. You're expected to be one too. Maybe your family depends on you to work in the family farm. And so you will become really good at that, but will not learn other things that could be more motivating and important for your future and for your income, for that matter, right? So there are many factors that decide your future, which is not empowering, and it's not your child's decision to make. You could change that. You could change that. So, and some do, right? We hear about 12-year-old CEOs that are rocking the world. So that blows my mind, and I'm sure it blows yours too. That is the world we're living in today. Let's get real about this and give our kids that opportunity to take it away, to do what they're passionate about. And not necessarily wait for 20 years before they become old enough to meet our expectation of when they can contribute to change our world. Right? Let's not wait for that. There's no point in doing that, in our opinion. So I'm about to prepare to hand over to Justina again in just a second to give us the second question. And I think Justina can start loading it. And while she's doing that, I just want to say we are not really interested in offering catalogs of skill sets that you should be learning. That is, I think, counterintuitive for us, actually. That is what you do in a school. If that is your path, perfect, lots of skill sets that you can learn. We are more about putting you on your hero's journey that is connected to your strong dream. And that you will learn in the process. We know that, absolutely. There's plenty of knowledge, people to learn from, all of that. You are connected already. That's why you're here. Just get started on your hero's journey. So, Justina, do we have the next question?
Yes, we absolutely do. And we have a nice manifestation in the chat as well. A pilot has wrote, when you spoke about control versus empowerment, the pilot wrote that he sees control in school. What we have at Planet Pilots is empowerment. We are an empowerment hub, and we're going to talk about it later. We also have nice results, 8 out of 10. We have a declaration out of our pilot that he is going to make his own business. So yes, the empowerment hub works in simple words. But talking about empowerment, also serious topic, but also a fun topic, guys. So let's get another poll. Multi-select. What are things that adults do that are empowering for kids? And first, we give you a choice. Give them autonomy. Believe in them and trust their choices. Let them thrive in an inspiring community. Sustain their passions. Which of those things are things that adults do that are empowering for kids? And I'm curious to vote myself. Yay! We voted into believing. Yes, that's the very prerequisite. You have to start in believing in kids and trusting their choices. Lars was already mentioning, you might have a family full of doctors. Your child might have played with your stethoscope when he was a toddler, but if right now, in his teen years, he doesn't want to hear about medicine, believe and trust their choices, even if the choice is to play video games. He might become an amazing video games creator. Give them autonomy, let them thrive in an inspiring community, sustain their passions are equally important, and I totally agree. Now let's get more creative ourselves. What are the things that you do to empower children? Type your answer.
Oh, that was a little bit harder, I can tell, huh? 6 answers. We can do it. What can we do? What are we doing to empower the children? Also, those who are not our children, they are all our children. What can we do?
To empower, to make sure that the child, the kid, is an advocate of his own ideas, is able to find his, her own dreams, knows how to tap to their own intrinsic motivation. Super curious to see. Listen to them, let them dream, be curious about the probably things that they are curious about, motivate them, inspire, support, explore with them. I just do. Some are natural at inspiring kids, and some are creating Planet Pilots. And we are creating Planet Pilots. I'm super happy. Thank you very much for participating in those Kahoots. Kevin, you may already close the window if you haven't already done so. At Planet Pilots, those are the things that we really live and breathe. We give pilots autonomy. We listen to their choices. We believe in every single pilot, and we sustain their passions. And I would stress there, it should always be intrinsic motivation. It may take time to find it, but it has to be really their passion. And we welcome the thriving global self-empowering community of symbiotic, empowered people who happen to be young, who become capable of defining their dreams, finding people who help them pursue them. And we have today with us a person, an amazing person, amazing pilot who has found a dream and has found a co-pilot to pursue them. Kevin, we may invite on stage Mimansh and his co-pilot Alex. Yo!
Yo! What's up, boys? What's up? So, I'm just gonna leave the floor to Mimansh for now, not gonna lie.
Mimansh, we cannot hear you. I think you might be muted, maybe. On one of the many mute buttons that we typically tend to have. Perfect.
Ready.
Yeah. So my dad made a video introducing everything. Let me just yeah, that's it. And so I made a presentation. That was the introduction. So yeah. So make school fun. So I don't think school is fun right now. I don't think that many students find school that fun. So the problem has been there for a long time, even before I was born. So you might be thinking like school is fun enough, or you don't go there to, you know, play games and whatever, you just go there to learn. But the problem is, if learning isn't fun, then how will people learn after, you know, they aren't forced to learn? And so I want to make it fun. So how exactly will I do that? So I want to make something with which you can talk to teachers or other people who have the same lessons as you and everything, and you can make fun assignments, do those, or watch a fun explainer video or something like that. And that would be really fun, and it'd make learning pretty fun. So there's mascot of the project, Jerry the Pigeon.
Woohoo!
And I made a website. Yeah, so what are your ideas? Because it'd be really nice. And here's the website. So making school fun. This is just like the prototype. It might be changed, but so school isn't fun because you're doing just what the teacher says, and the teacher is saying just what the book says. And homework isn't fun because you're just copying what the book says. And tests aren't fun because you're just copying what the homework says with little to no problem solving. Except in maths. Maths is fun though. So let's make it fun. So it's basically what I said, and amazing. And so my plan is to create a group on some platform where you can do all the fun projects and explainer videos and everything. And so make fun projects and like start it up, and then make it known so more people can have fun projects and like add their ideas on what projects would be fun and what projects would be nice to do. And after we complete those projects, we can ask the people again and then repeat. And so this is basically all of the Planet Pilots. They're in there. If you want to join, like, just tell me, and I'll create the group and I'll add everybody. And so there are also some random adults. And yeah, that's basically it. So, like, what are your ideas? You can like comment.
Woohoo! Yeah. Nimansh, you have been persistent with this project for a while. When we've been talking season 1 at Planet Pilots, season 1 is always have a dream, right? We're exploring with vision boards, with purpose, quests. We're exploring what our dream is, and we've been very, very early. You have found this dream very early, and you've been very concrete about it as well. You said that you want to create this platform with fun alternative for school with the budget of your own school. That was really impressive, right? And what happened next? Nimansh has found a team in season 2. Find a dream at Planet Pilots. Find a dream, build a team. You have built a team. Was it difficult to get to engage pilots on your project?
Not really. I think it's like I don't think a lot of people like love school, right? Or think it's as good as it could be. So I don't think it was that hard to find it in Planet Pilots because everybody's a child.
All right. Do you feel empowered by the fact that so many pilots wanted to join your project, Nimansh?
Yeah.
Yeah? Why did you want to join Nimansh's project, Alex? That would be, in the interest of time, one of the last questions or the last question. Alex.
Well, I wanted to join it because I agree. School is not fun at all. I mean, except for maths, but like maths. It's one subject, and they're like IDK math, history, English, and like some other language. Oh. I guess the other language is quite fun. But anyways, to the main point. I really like Nimansh's project, so like that's why I joined. And I also joined because I wanted to help Nimansh, and because Nimansh is my friend, so you know. Yeah, cool.
Where did you? This was the last question. Where did you, yeah.
My project is world domination. So with that, I could get like, let's say 9.95% of world domination. So let's just say I'm already at 9.95% of world domination. But yeah, that's all.
That's all. Where did you meet? Where did you guys meet? Can you remind me?
I think it was at Potato Store.
What kind of platform did you meet, guys?
It definitely was at the Potato Store.
Was that Planet Pilot?
It was at Planet Pilots. Yeah. All right. All right. Thanks, guys. High five. Helmets on. And see you
helmets
very soon.
On, pilots.
And ice cream. Ice cream.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, pilots, and thank you so much, Justina, for leading the questions here. And in the interest of time, and I hope Kevin will be generous enough to give us maybe 5 minutes on the top of the hour, maybe. But now, without further ado, I want to introduce you to somebody who is really, really special in so many ways. You're going to see now. Because it's not, one thing is to have a dream and to build a team. We think there are more components that we could be offering of great value. For example, mentoring and some guidance on how to network. And the expert on that is Magda. So I would like to invite Magda to join us. To give us a 5 minute on introducing us to Open Coffee and to our collaboration there. So over to you, Magda. Thank you so much for being here.
Hello, thank you so much for inviting me to join you today. I'm very glad that I could be here today and tell you more about what we do at Open Coffee High School Edition and how we are collaborating here with Planet Pilots. So let me tell you about how it started, who we are, what we are doing. We are an Open Coffee High School Edition is networking hub for students from all over the world. Well, thanks to local leaders, we are organizing meetings in few cities in Poland, in India, in Canada, and in the USA. We have people joining from Indonesia, from Kenya, from really different parts of the world, and we are connecting all together. Why we are doing that is to, connect students, to deliver them the opportunity to meet like-minded people, and we believe that offering our opportunities between the same age group, like similar age group, is the best thing that we can do, because we are all in the same situation. We are all students. We understand each other the best. We understand what challenges are we facing today, how we can help each other best. The whole meetings and the whole structure of our organization was inspired by Open Coffee Krakow events, which are actually events organized locally in Krakow for investors, entrepreneurs, and mostly people from business community here in Poland, for them to connect with each other and offer themselves mutually beneficial connections and to conduct this great networking. And because of those meetings, because more than a year ago, I decided to attend one of those hosted by Richard Lucas. I just did a speech. I did my introduction. I told who I am, what I want. Back then, I wanted to have my startup. I had a startup idea. I wanted to gain some new experience. And guess what? I got an internship with Richard Lucas, a really successful businessman from Poland, who is helping me a lot with current challenges with Open Coffee High School Edition. And he, introduced me to different strategic business management things. And that is the thing that really inspired me, the thing that delivered me the most value as possible for the past year. And I wanted people from my age to also have this opportunity to gain those connections, to gain new opportunities, to be more open to this innovative way of education by learning, by practice, by learning, by doing. And often people approach me and they told me, "Oh, Magda, you are doing so great. You are having projects, you are having an internship. How did you do that?" And I was like, okay, so it's pretty simple. You just go to the meeting, you introduce yourself, and you're open to people. You're asking them directly. By the way, it's a great video of Steve Jobs. It's called Just Ask. If you haven't watched it yet, please do, because it's really amazing, and it's like the 1.5 minutes power of introductions, power of asking questions, and I think even the core of life as a young entrepreneur, young person who wants to start off their career, and not only for young people, like for all of the people who wants to really be a part of these high achievers and try to take the best for themselves and from other people also here in today's world. So yes, we are organizing those meetings to, I decided that I just want to offer this opportunity for other students, that I just want to have the networking meetings for the students to also gain this sense of why networking is important and should be so important for them, because it is not a skill that is, so common. Is it not a skill that we are being taught at school? It's something that is you know, like in between the classes, interactions with different people, and it's all networking, but we don't perceive it as networking. We are not perceiving it as something that we can give really something to ourselves and to offer those mutual connections and benefits to us. So we use Open Coffee formula, which is who are you, what are you doing, how we can help you, and how you can help us. By answering those 4 questions, each of our members, our participants on the meeting can introduce themselves very quickly and say who they are, what they do, and just tell what they need currently, what they are facing, what struggles, what they need, maybe help with studying, maybe they are looking for someone to join their band, music band, maybe they want to have someone new, like a volunteer on their project, or maybe they are looking for a graphic designer. For example, our hub in the USA, after the first meeting, they discovered that between the group of friends and the people who joined the meeting, they are all interested in environment and helping the environment. And they decided that they would like to have an environmental campaign conducted this year in their city, and you know, like do some cleaning of the forest, cleaning of the parks. And I think it's just amazing that, you know, you even don't know sometimes that people around you can do those things and they are interested in that. And then you can start doing something together. You can empower yourself and empower other people. So I think this empowerment is something that brought us together with Planet Pilots, and that belief that we would like to change the way how we perceive education, how we perceive soft skills, and how we would like the other people to be more focused on learning those soft skills, on learning children, teenagers, and students. By the way, we'll be opening also to students. Right now, we are more focused on high school students, but also we are changing, rebranding to Open Coffee Youth, as we have the first contacts from universities all over the world. For example, University of Groningen, which is, by the way, one of the best universities in the Netherlands. And we'll be opening hubs there also to empower students. As we believe, and this is something that we have here in Planet Pilots, that we want to offer the mentoring. We want to offer that we believe that there are a few stages, and that, for example, for children, for the younger group, it's better to have a mentor who is only let's say 5, 6, 7, maybe years older than them, because it's been more beneficial. We understand each other better. Sometimes when we have mentors with too big age gap, especially when we are, you know, like working with the younger audience, where with kids, for example, let's say 8-year-old. So it will be strange, I don't know, at least for me maybe, for the 8-year-old to have a mentor who is maybe 50-year-old. It's better for them to have a person who is at another stage of life, which is, in our case, high school, which is something that, you know, we can empower them, we can teach them the lessons that we've learned in our high school years, in our secondary schools years, in something that, and try to lead them through them. And of course, you know, we are not professionals. Of course, we don't maybe have so big life experience, but we are trying to, and we want to have, you know, like to help those teenagers, like children and teenagers, to really create those space with safe environment, with education, and with these really high achievements and high ambitions. I remember when we had the first Planet Pilots partnership event, and I asked the question because it was actually about, I think referring to the question of Steve Jobs, so this video, Just Ask. And I asked them, so are you asking questions when you want something? And they were like, wow, of course, we always do that. I always ask for what I need. But then I realized that, for example, even I sometimes don't do that, because it's harder when you're older. It's harder to approach people and ask directly, what do you exactly need? And I think it's really important for us to learn from ourselves together, and to really understand as even us when we were younger, and for them to understand us when they will be older, and from us to exchange those thoughts, and not to lose these great child ambitions, these great child dreams. And I think here we come to tell those children, tell Planet Pilots and other amazing, really amazing young people that they have the power in themselves to really achieve those dreams, and just lead them through their stages of this young ages when everything is really changing, because sometimes you grab one opportunity or another and you are in completely different place. So I think that's very important, and sharing together this idea of connecting with being open, being very also diverse, and appreciating this diversity and appreciating each other, their interests, passions, empowering each other. It's the best thing that we can do, and how we can lead our collaboration and partnership.
Thank you so much, Magda, for everything you and your organization is doing for our Planet Pilots. And as you all can see, we are driven, all of us here, in an approach which is highly autonomous, which is decentralized, democratized, and in a grassroots, if you like, approach, right? So, and as Magda rightly pointed out here, it might be very helpful to get some mentoring and some guidance and these things, but it does matter who it's coming from, and who's better than those who are maybe just a few steps ahead of ourselves in our life journey, in our hero's journey. So Magda, thank you so much for being here with us. We really appreciate it. Cool, and see you very soon in our hangouts again.
Yes, thank you so much.
Helmet on. Excellent. So I was just addressing our decentralized approach here and the autonomy, but we need more than that. If we need to make a paradigm shift, create new paradigms that empower kids, then we also need, we believe, to go from the top. Right from the top. And we have plenty of ministries of education around. For the educational world, we believe we need a ministry of empowerment and accomplishment. So we created it. And I would love to welcome on stage now the first Minister of Empowerment and Accomplishment, Mark Prensky. Welcome, Mark.
A real rock star.
Greetings. Can you hear me?
We can hear you and see you.
Okay. Well, this was terrific. Thanks for everybody. I'm so happy to be here with the EXO community. And we heard from Mimash and Alex and Magda, who are representing, for me, the 2 to 3 billion kids in the world. And my MTP, which is a term that probably a lot of people know, massive transformational purpose, is really to empower all those kids. So we have a few examples, and now we have to take it to a very large number of kids. And so I like to think about how we do that, and whether education, which was so good in the 20th century, is really the right route. So I talk about symbiotic hybrid and symbiotic empowered people, as Lars did. And I am symbiotic with PowerPoint. I'm old. So I'm symbiotic with that. So I'm going to show you some slides, and I'm going to go really quickly. Where do I go to share my screen? Here we go. Share screen, Chrome tab. Everybody does this, which is, where is the one? The new slide.
Can we get some guidance from a Planet Pilot here?
I've got it. Okay. Good. And then I say there. Name before share. Whoops. Present. Okay. Skip, and I go to present. Okay, let's go to present. Hey, this is me. I'm Mark. You can get me anytime. I'm always ready to hear from people. I'm known in the world. How do I go to the next slide here? There's got to be a way to go to the next slide. There. Whoops, that's the last slide. How do I go from slide to slide? This way? Okay, there you go. My son is standing next to me, thank goodness. My son is named Sky. So I'm known in the world for digital natives. That's the term that I coined. Those are people born pretty much in the 21st century. It's become a famous term. It's going to be on my tombstone. So great. But the important thing now is, what's the next step? Where do we go from having these digital natives? And the answer for me is to help them become symbiotic empowered people, because that's what we're going to need in that future that Lars talked about. I want to look at it in 3 steps. We had the 20th century. That's important because every adult in the world who is over the age of 21 was born in the 20th century. We have today, which is the early 21st century, and we have the time when our kids are going to live, which is mostly the mid to late 21st century. So how do we look at those things? Well, in the 20th century, we had education. And it came to its great flourishment, and it was crucial. We all got it. We all benefited from it. And now we are left, we adults, with a big desire to spread it to other people. And we have the UN trying to do that with SDG 4, and we have literacy campaigns, and we're not totally successful. Because now, in the early 21st century, it turns out that education, as we did it in the 20th century, isn't meeting the needs of everybody. It just can't meet those needs. And the reason it can't is, I think, 2 big reasons. One, we've conflated it with academic learning. And as Lars said, not everybody likes academic learning. Not everyone benefits from that. In fact, of all those billions of kids, many don't. The other thing that's missing totally from education is accomplishing, is getting real world things done that improve the world. So those things are missing, and what do? Well, we really have options. First thing we could do is change it, which a lot of people are trying to do. And we're talking about what we're going to do for education. We can enhance it, which we're also trying to do. Or we can do something even better, which I think, and that's what we're trying to do, offer an alternative. Not necessarily for everyone, but at least give people, parents and kids, a choice. If we go the first route of trying to change it, we get into these endless discussions of the education of the future of education, the future of learning. It's very hard to agree, but mostly it's very hard to change the system. I'm not going to read all of these, but here's 10 reasons why we're not going to change education very much, no matter what your dream, no matter what you think. So perhaps we can enhance it. And a lot of people are thinking about that, especially because of technology and social emotional, which is missing. The problem is that those don't solve the problems. Yes, you might be able to walk through a heart in 3D and VR and AR, but it's still academic learning, just nicer, and it still has no accomplishing. So the third thing that we can do is we can empower people. And that's what we're trying to do with empowerment hubs. And what's the difference between a school and an empowerment hub? The schools focus on learning. We focus on empowerment and impact. The schools are mostly classes and courses, may have a few learning projects. We focus on real world projects, not potential empowerment someday when you grow up, but applied empowerment. If your engineer's kinetic empowerment, they measure learning, we measure impact. They are very individually focused. We are very team and network and collaborative focused, as you heard the kids say. They think technology is optional. It's a tool. We think it's a symbiotic part of being human in the mid to late 21st century. They're all about mastery and certification and badges and whatever. However we do that, we're about continuous accomplishment. And schools are pretty much a 20th century version of what we used to think kids needed. We are trying to figure out a 21st century vision. And the reason is we all struggle with what we're going to do and what's the future of work and how are people going to survive in the age of automation and AI. Well, there are things we're never going to run out of. We're never going to run out of dreams to realize. We're never going to run out of problems to fix. And we're never going to run out of people who need help. So we need to address those in the symbiotic way. So if you want to start or build or join or learn more about empowerment hubs, and there's lots of different varieties. They can be standalone, like Planet Pilots is doing. They can be after school. They can even be inside an existing school. We can help because we have started the Ministry of Empowerment, Accomplishment, and Impact. And you can see the URL there. And we're just getting started. This is the launch. We're announcing it. And we are in business. Really, we exist to help people who want to create and use empowerment hubs. We offer services. We offer connections. That's the main thing we do. We connect all the people who are in various parts of the world. We offer resources, and we offer help in the form of consulting who want that. So we hope you will join us. We hope you're interested in this, figuring out a great solution that works for every one of those 2 to 3 billion kids in the world. They don't all love to go to school, but they all can set goals for themselves and reach it. And that is empowerment and accomplishment. Thanks a lot. It's a pleasure to talk with you.
Thank you so much, Mark, for the introduction and the official launch here of the ministry. We couldn't be more excited and grateful than to have this opportunity. Reach out to Mark, absolutely, to continue that conversation around empowerment and accomplishment. But even, or just as important, invite your child or children in your network to come and experience what it's like to feel empowered. So you're all invited to, in the beginning, first step, go to planetpilots.org, and there will be something popping up right there that invites you to be a Planet Pilot for a day. And next Saturday, at the same time as this session today has happened, you are all invited to join to be a Planet Pilot for a day. Bring your kids, of course. That is for the people who happen to be young. But we will have a conversation as well, if you like, about everything we have discussed today. So that is a wrap from our side. That is what we wanted to share with the world about the future of learning for children. And thank you, Kevin, for not only having us, but giving us a few extra minutes here of everybody's time. Back to you, Kevin. You're muted, Kevin. You're muted.
You know what that means
station.
when I'm muted? It means I have to head over to Discord and I have to tip everybody exos, because that's the rule that people made for me when I'm live and I'm muted, because I used to do it all the time. So sorry about that, but thank you to everybody who's presented, to the entire team from Planet Pilots, to Magda, to Mark. It's so exciting to see, what you are doing, for kids. There are so many kids that, don't fit into that box of school. And I wanted to ask so many questions, and there were questions in the chat as well. But we have run quite a lot over, which is fine, which is perfect. So I think maybe what that means is, hey, we need a follow-up. And maybe that follow-up needs to be only the kids that are speaking and that are hosting the show. I can teach kids how to host, and they can host it. I don't necessarily need to be here. So a massive thank you to everyone for joining us. And we will have another Future of event, which is coming up in 2 weeks' time, which is about well-being. And that's going to be with Dea, who's an amazing community member based in Hungary. But thank you to everyone for joining. We'll see everyone again soon.
Yes, helmets on.
Helmets on. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.